Hello, my name is DJ Moonstone, and I'm happy to be here with you today. I'm coming to you live from the lunar landing zone on the moons of Europa. Now, I've been up here for quite some time, and they keep me comfortable. Looks like a regular apartment with a couch and shades, but outside, sulfuric acid rains down upon us. And I have to go outside every day in my LLZ suit and take samples because that's what I do. You may be thinking, why does this man look like he was baked on the suns of Jupiter? Well, not far off. The moons of Europa have direct access to extreme heat and sunlight. Therefore, even with the suit, I look like this. But I digress. I'm here to start a video series talking about subjects that are important to me, and I think important to you too. We'll see. Today's topic is loneliness. Loneliness. Now, being alone on the moons of Europa, the only one at the lunar landing zone, I could tell you a thing or two about loneliness. But I want to tell you a story from when I was back on Earth years ago. And this wasn't that long ago, 2-3 years ago. But I was hungry for connection. I was hungry to make friends. Not romance, just friendship. And as a man who may be 30 or 40 years old, it's very difficult to make friends. And I think for those of you still on Earth, it's still difficult to make friends. Or so I'm told during my calls back home to my family. Now, I don't know why this is, but I had 2 interactions with men that were very positive. One was at a trivia night where I was out with a female friend of mine at the time, and I started up conversation with this male individual over trivia. We had some things in common. Seemed like a good friendship fit, an FF, if you will. But here's the thing. I reached out to that person after he indicated that he was excited about the idea of us playing trivia together multiple times. And multiple times, I received no response back until I gave up. Then, about a year later, I was outside of a bar, hanging out with somebody who was an acquaintance, and I ran into somebody who I knew through my radio show. Shout out to the Lunar Landing Zone radio show, 1 a.m. Fridays, WMPG.com. And I beckoned for this individual to come over, and he sat down. We proceeded to have a wonderful conversation about relationships. He spilled his heart out about the challenges of his relationship with his 12-year partner of 12 years. And I thought, this is a new friend. I'm going to reach out to this person the next day and make plans to hang out. This is a great interaction. And lo and behold, this person disappeared into the ether, never to be heard from again. Did not reply to texts inviting him out to hang out again. My question to you, the viewer, and I'd like to see your replies in the comments and what your take on this is. What's going on with adult friendship? It doesn't necessarily have to be male to male friendship, although I think that's particularly strained in today's day and age. But what would I know? I'm alone on a lunar landing base by myself. But before I left, it seemed very strained, very difficult to find adult male friends as an adult male. But also female friendships. I've known some females over the years, and I've heard from them that as you get older, it's hard to maintain friendships. Why is that? Why are things so difficult in terms of making friends? When you're 8, you're stuck in a classroom and you make friends on the playground, you make friends at school. When you're in college, you make friends because you have the same classes, you have the same interests, activities that you take part in at the school. And then you get launched into careers, jobs, and you spend time with people that you don't necessarily choose as people you actually want to spend time with. But it's such a great amount of your time because it's your job. And I guess I'm answering my own question because between your job and your partner, if you have a romantic partner, and if you have children or parents to take care of, as an adult, it's very hard to carve out time. And yet, I think if we all took a look at our phones, we would see the massive amount of hours that we are all spending scrolling through apps on our phone. And it's kind of a one-way version of socialization and community because there's minimal interaction. Maybe there are comments, as I hope you leave below this video with your take on things. But most of it is not interacting with other people. It's consuming content, consuming information, consuming things other people have made or posted. And somehow it feels like even more than 40 years ago, although I wasn't alive 40 years ago, let's say 20 years ago. Even 20 years ago, it feels like it was easier to socialize. Is that true? What do you think about loneliness? Are you lonely? Are you content? Do you have friends? Do you make new friends? Are you satisfied with the friendships you already have? These are the questions that are interesting to me as somebody stuck on a space station, a lunar landing zone, on the moons of Europa, without the ability to socialize, except for a handful of robots. And let's face it, the robots are not much to chat with. I'm fascinated by this. Is it always so difficult to make new friends as an adult? And if you think it's not, what's your secret? That's what I want to hear from you. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe. This is my very first video, and there are going to continue to be more videos on the subjects of relationships, loneliness, modern living with other people, socialization, dating, all the things that fascinate me as somebody who is now living completely isolated across the galaxy. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Mr. Sad Dog. Mr. Sad Dog.